Look at this. 90,000 our highest, 52.5 our lowest, and everything in between. The exact same item. Does this happen in the real world, folks, where buyers trying to buy the exact same item wind up with a huge range of different results? Why does this happen? What determines, you've all learned this in school, what determines price? Economics 101. Supply and demand. Well, I'm going to argue that. Supply and demand doesn't determine price. What supply and demand gives you is a market. Supply and demand gave you this market, $52,000 to $90,000. So what actually determines price? Information, more importantly, skill. Negotiation skill is what determines price in the real world. Where you land in that market has to do with how well or how not well you negotiated. Anybody here know a buyer, maybe a family member, a friend, a colleague who they negotiate over everything? Everything. They'll negotiate over an appetizer at a restaurant. They're always negotiating. Everything is, they're trying to get the best deal possible. Anybody know somebody like that? Who do you know who's like that?
My dad, he argues with people at Wendy's.
Yeah, his dad argues with people at Wendy's. Okay, so that's one extreme. And does anybody know a buyer who maybe goes and buys a car and they just pay sticker price? They don't want to deal with negotiating. Who do you know who's like that? A family friend. Pocket change, doesn't want to deal with it. Just let me go on with my life. I don't want to deal with the hassle. Okay, and anybody know a salesperson who's tough as nails? Anybody ever dealt with it? Who?
My mom.
Your mom kills it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. She lied to someone.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Whoa. This is not about lying. Anybody know a salesperson who doesn't budge off price? They'll stick to their price. They won't come down. Who do you know who's like that?
Just like car dealers around.
The car dealerships around. And does anybody know, and I used to be a salesperson like this, in my rookie days as a salesperson, as soon as the buyer said boo, I would panic. I would cave. Anybody know a salesperson who, as soon as the buyer starts talking about price, you need to lower your price, they lower it right away? You know, who do you know who's like that? Your ex-boyfriend. In fact, here's an interesting, you should have seen her face when she said that. This is an interesting fact. When buyers say, hey, we need you to do better on that pricing, you need to lower your price, you need to sharpen your pencil, what do you think 80% of salespeople, how do you think 80% of salespeople respond to a buyer trying to get a better price? You know what they say? 80% say, where do you need us to be? The worst thing you can ever say when a buyer says, can you do something about that price? Well, where do you need us to be? What message are you sending your buyer when you say that? Yeah, I got flexibility. I'm willing to come down. The worst thing you can say, yet 80% of salespeople say that exact line. That's a whole other seminar right there. But let's get back to our board here. So negotiating is a skill. It's a skill. The difference between your boyfriend and your lying family member friend, whoever, or your lying mom, it has to do with skill, right? So negotiation is a skill, and by the way, it's a skill that can be learned. I used to suck at negotiating until I learned how to do it. It's a skill that can be learned, and it's a skill that can be practiced, and it's a skill that can be sharpened as well.